Hi, this is Pat McDonald, your host for Banter and Beans, where our tagline is What's Brewing in Montpelier? And joining me today by Zoom is Ashley Strobridge from the I cannot pronounce this, Ashley. You're
That's
going to have
okay.
to,
Astrobridge Artistry.
Astrobridge Artistry. Thank you. And I'm very eager to talk to Ashley because we've had a lot of conversation by email and she sounds fascinating. So welcome to the
Thank
show.
you.
Welcome to the show. So tell us a little bit about this artistry.
Sure. What I do is I create nature photography, poetry, and paintings
Hmm.
in themes of ecology, fantasy, and social justice, while also incorporating elements of history and literature. So my work is available in matted, framed, and unmatted photo prints, canvas prints that are ready to hang, greeting cards, postcards, boxed holiday gift sets of cards, bookmark stickers, books, and audiobooks, and more. And if it's all right, I'd like to go into sort of one of just my main mission
Sure, go right
with
ahead.
Astrobridge Artistry. Great. Through Astrobridge Artistry, I aim to communicate the magic and wonder of nature, hoping to make the beauty and healing powers of the natural world accessible and inviting to all. As someone with multiple disabilities and limited mobility myself, I pride myself on interpreting the inherent beauty of easily accessible natural places, illustrating that you don't need to be able to climb a rocky mountain trail to experience the benefits of nature.
Excellent.
So whether it's on a dirt road, 2 steps from my car door, or on an accessible nature path, or even on my own balcony in my magic garden in the sky, proving that nature can be surprisingly accessible is one of my main missions. I also aim to hold up nature as an inspiration for creativity because all of us need a place to escape to sometimes, especially in these times. So whether through a journey through words, images, or through a walk in the woods, or all three.
That's
So the link
awesome.
between, thank you. Yeah, that's fine. I
No,
can stop there.
well, no, because you have so many products, and I'm sort of overwhelmed by where do people find your products? Is it paint? What's the medium that you use?
Oh yeah. A lot of my work is going to be reproductions of things. I try not to sell originals because my work is kind of important to me and I like to keep the original. So a lot of the stuff like things like, canvas prints I will make
Uh-huh.
of my paintings. I'll get those done at a wonderful place called Nations Photo Lab down in Maryland
Huh.
because because I used to live in Virginia, Northern Virginia near Maryland. I'm from Vermont, but I lived down there for a little while and they do a really great job and their customer service is great. Not to totally go on and on about them, but yes, so basically, I get a lot of the stuff printed there, and it's a really, they will do the printing and actually,
That's great.
cut this whole part out. This whole
No,
part out.
no,
I don't
because
have to go on and on about Nations Photo Lab, but I do get them printed on canvas for canvas prints, and then I also get photos printed that I get matted. So basically, I get them matted here at the drawing board
right.
here in Montpelier. So I utilize a lot of local businesses. I get my some of my cards printed here at what is it called? The Drawing Board Print Shop. So a lot of my stuff is locally produced. I get my stickers printed at Sticky Brand, which is out of
Nice.
Burlington.
That's so. Tell me, because I know you don't have a storefront. You are.
Right.
So where is your? Where are you located?
So I'm located here in Montpelier. I don't want to say sort of an address because it's also
Okay.
my home address.
Ah,
But it is, it's close to downtown in Montpelier. And what's great is that I have an option of both online sales and sales through like vending. So when I go to a lot of events where I
great.
set up a table and a lot of arts events like the art walk here in Montpelier. I love
Yes.
that they do that. It's such a wonderful, opportunity to
Yep.
share local art. So I do the art walk. I do, one year I did the Mad River Arts, craft fair. This year I did the Waterbury Arts Fest. I do a lot of the queer arts events, the Queer Arts Fest that's in
Yep.
Plainfield.
Yep.
So yeah,
Well, there's certainly a lot of those that happen in our fabulous state. So get you out
exactly.
there. That's wonderful.
I love Vermont for that.
Yeah,
I
that's
do.
right.
Yeah.
And so, were you impacted? Some of the people that we've talked to were really impacted by the flood, and well, by COVID first, and then the flood. Is your where you live, is that up high enough so that you weren't part of that, or?
It's yeah. So luckily, I was not impacted by the flood, but as much as a lot of people. I did have some inventory that was in shops downtown that got destroyed.
Yep.
So for me, if I have a whole spiel that I've written down here that I can read, but if I wasn't as impacted except for by the economic impacts,
Right.
by the sort of, loss of events, loss of some inventory, but also just the fact that, COVID and these other crises have created an opening for large companies to enact corporate greed and kind of, get this price gouging situation where now people who used to be able to buy my art are struggling to make ends meet. And
Right.
so they're really, struggling to be able to afford things like art and literature.
Right.
So that makes it harder. So
Are,
those are the sort of how that's
are you
laid out.
feeling? Are you feeling though that you're starting to get back on your feet? That people are
Well, it's
starting to.
interesting. Well, it's interesting for me because COVID and COVID really allowed me to pivot to doing this. So
Oh,
previously, like I have an environmental and sustainability studies degree, and I, interned under the advisor to President Obama on climate change communication. I worked for Vermont Forestry for a while. I've done
nice.
a lot of work in environmental policy, and my whole family's in that field. But what this allowed me to do is really follow what my personal experience in sort of education had been early on, which is arts and literature. That is what I thrived doing all through my early education, and it's what I always loved to do. And so this has really given me an opportunity. Basically, I got COVID in 2020,
Ah,
and I wasn't really able to go back to the office due
huh.
to a lot of the symptoms and
Yep.
of the long hauler stuff. So I was able to use the opportunity of the unemployment money and the stimulus stuff to pivot to doing. Whoops. So sorry, just it's back to pivot to doing this, which is what I was meant to do. And
Exactly.
during that time, yeah, and during that time, a lot of the public had that stimulus money as well, and so that helped my company to thrive.
Right.
And so it was an interesting turn of events for me. Whereas now I'm struggling more. Like this year in
Huh.
particular, while nobody has any money, I'm struggling the most.
That's
So
interesting.
every year between 2020 and this year, I have doubled my income in each year upon each year, doubled income from the previous year in sales. And last year that wasn't really um because of COVID benefits or anything. And the year before that it necessarily wasn't either. So it's not necessarily that, but it's the impact of this year in particular, how prices have been raised incredibly by corporate greed that is
Wow.
affecting my business in a negative way,
Right.
especially considering all the positive things that have happened for me this year, which I'd love to an opportunity
Yep.
to
Please
share
go
some of
right
the.
ahead.
So yeah, so basically, what's really been exciting is that a number of things, sort of three big things, have happened for me this year. Um, so the first thing was I released an audiobook called Do You
Oh,
Believe in Fairies?
lovely.
Yeah, and it was really exciting. It's called Do You Believe in Fairies? Compositions of Truth and Nature in Art and Poetry. And it's actually a really exciting book because it's basically the audiobook version of my print book, which will be coming out soon. But the audiobook version is really sort of a dynamic option because it has verbal descriptions of all of the art in the book. So basically,
Great.
there's the original book has poems paired with with my own nature photography.
Perfect.
Photography. So it's my own
Right.
poems paired with those nature photos. And but obviously in an audiobook you can't experience that visual. So what I ended up doing was utilizing my sort of inspiration of teaming up with accessible arts, oh no, what's it called, inclusive arts Vermont,
Huh.
where they sort of exposed me to the idea of doing verbal descriptions for things, right?
Nice.
So it was great. So I used that opportunity to incorporate verbal descriptions into this audiobook. where it wasn't just rote verbal descriptions, it was sort of, I wrote lyrical verbal descriptions in the tone of each poem. So it was a really fun
It's a, I
uh
can I can tell from your voice how excited you are about what you do. It's really contagious. That's great.
Thank you very much. Yeah, and I did do the narration for the book, and I've gotten some really great feedback on it. And actually, another exciting thing about that is that it made it to #1 on Libro FM's top 50 best-selling poetry audiobook for a week
Wow.
in May.
Excellent.
And thank you. And during that time, I actually beat Barbara Kingsolver's
That's
out at
great.
the time.
Excellent.
So that was pretty fun. And sort of related to that, this year I also signed a contract with Rootstock Publishing to publish the print version of the book. So I'm
Excellent.
really excited to get that
And
to have that
they're
partnership
right
with
here in
them.
Montpelier, aren't they? Yep, I
Yep, they're
thought so.
also a great Montpelier company,
Yep,
small business, and Sam Colber runs it. She does a great job,
great.
and I'm really excited to be working with them. And that will be launched Earth Day 2025, so it's coming up.
Excellent.
That book is going to be out soon, and the sort of the other sort of really exciting thing that happened for me this year was that one of my paintings is now touring the state. So it made it
Whoa.
into, yeah, it was really, that was also an exciting
I
element of
I
lots of
bet.
fun things happening
Yeah.
this year, even though the financials have been a little bit sadder
Uh,
than they should be. It was lots of sort of big things happening,
right.
so that could build onto something more. So I've got the painting was touring the state with the cycles exhibit through Inclusive Arts Vermont, and it was at the State House for the month of April, so that was
Excellent.
cool. Yeah, and right now it'll be in it's in Burlington at UVM's Mann Hall through December.
Well,
Um,
name recognition is part of the game, so
right,
so that's a good
getting your
thing.
name out there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I wanted to
yeah.
talk
So
a little bit. I was looking at the clock to make sure that we talk about your website. And
sure.
if you could bring that website up, because you
Yeah,
don't have a physical space for people to come to see. The
right.
website is it. And
Well, the
besides the
website is it,
fairs,
except for the events,
right?
except for the fairs and things, which I don't do that year round. I try to do it,
Yes,
but
right. Weather,
let's see this. Right, I try to do it sort of during the, spring, summer, and fall are the main years, are the main months here.
right.
But what I was gonna say was okay, share screen. Okay. So this is my oops, hang on. There we go.
Oh,
This is my
beautiful.
website. Oh,
Yep.
thank you so much. Let me scroll down. So this is the home page. Let
Oh,
me just get,
I
can you
actually,
see?
yes, I can see. I actually looked it up myself and before the show, and I was so impressed. The pictures, the
Oh,
colors, it's beautiful.
thank you so much. I with this photo, I don't know if it's going to scroll away, so I'm going to just scroll down to this static image here. I don't know if you were able to see the fairy. Did you catch the
Yes,
fairy here?
yes, I did. I did. I know. That's great.
So it's she's my magical little, she's my glorious light fairy.
Very
And
nice.
I didn't create her. She was just there. It's kind of a magical moment in the forest that actually inspired the creation of this entire business. So
That's great.
thank
Beautiful.
you. Yeah.
And
And
so people can order on your website.
exactly. Exactly. So if you go to the store tab up here, which is the third tab over,
Yeah.
go to the store tab, click that. You can get to, currently I have 4 pages of products, but
Wow.
I'm about to add at least one more page. I'm going to add some more boxed gift cards, and I'm going to gift, you know, gift boxes of greeting cards. I'm going to add some more of those, and I'm going to add some of my paintings, some of the canvas prints, as well as some matted prints. So right now it's
Beautiful.
mainly cards. Right now it's mainly individual cards, postcards, and right here you see I've got my two bookmarks, which both have poetry on the back.
Beautiful.
And then this is my fairy iridescent sticker, which is one of my best sellers. It's hard to see in the photo here. It's hard to capture, but it has a iridescent sort of holographic sheen to it.
That's great.
And it says I do believe in fairies, and this is so I have my I love Vermont, I love Vermont peculiar little, this is my move towards justice cow in the
Ah,
Um,
that's cute.
and this is another popular photo here. I'm going to have this one matted and ready to sell online. This is my Mists over Worcester Valley piece,
Excellent.
but this is a postcard version. And that's the
Ah,
painting. That's the painting that's currently touring the state, is this one right here.
beautiful. Look at the
But
colors.
this is Thank you. And this is sort of the card version, but I will have the canvas print up,
And
and then
Ashley, when people order, do you mail it to them, or is there a place
I
they can
can mail it, or
pick it
if you're
up?
local, yeah, if you're local, you can come pick it up, or I might even be able to deliver depending on where you're
Oh, great.
located.
Excellent.
So, yeah, so I
Well,
just had a order come through from actually just around the corner, and I was able to just pop it by. So,
excellent. Ashley,
um,
can you give us your website again so that
yeah,
we know how to reach you and
sure.
encourage people? Obviously, they won't be coming, but to come down locally and see what's around. This is perfect.
Yeah. So it's www.astrobridge-artistry.com, and that's Astro like the stars, ASTRO, bridge like bridge over troubled water, as one word, astrobridge-artistry.com.
Ashley Strobridge, you have an amazing talent, and I really commend you. And I hope that people will check you out. Thank you very
Thank
much
you
for
so much.
joining us. Thanks. See you. Bye,
Take
folks.
care.
This is Pat McDonald, your host for Banter and Beans. See you soon.